Greetings and salutations, folks. My name is Nick, and welcome back to Coffee Talk, Episode 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly, where... What happened last time? Oh yeah, we got a continuation of Lucas and Riona's storyline. They seem to get a little bit closer, not professionally, but personally, which makes me wonder if there's a relationship brewing between those two fellows. Whether they're going to be getting closer that fashion. For now, though, let's check Tomato Chill. See what kind of updates we got. Last night was wild. Ever had a night like that? Does Lucas even pay attention to my criticisms of Rachel's vague tweets? Did you ever have a night like that wild night that I just had? Wild can mean a lot of things to a lot of people. Wild for me? What would be a wild night for me? Like, a wild night for me would probably be just going out with some friends and going to more than one bar. That is probably the minimum that raises it to wild. Because most nights I am playing Coffee Talk 2, Hibiscus and Butterfly. So my nights are usually not wild by any standard. Wild for Steve Urkel might have a lower minimum bar. Wild for Cool's version of Steve Urkel might have a higher minimum bar. Do we know her? Nekochel? Oh no, that's just Rachel again. She's just in costume now. Most of the time she's not in costume. I'm taking it easy day because self-care is important. Don't forget to take a good rest once in a while too, everyone. Which is interesting that she posts a picture of herself in her dressing room, which presents the idea that she's getting ready to go on stage, while posting about telling everybody to relax. And on the posts where it seems like she's not posting about being at work, where she's not showing pictures of her in her dressing room getting ready to be on stage, she's talking about, like, the work that she's doing. Normal schedule. Thank you, Riona. Once again, who are these posts for? Are there people who she does deliveries for that follow her on her social account to be like, I hope Riona's out doing the deliveries. Dinner with my team. Who's the yellow blob guy with the awesome hair puff thing? Only one person is eating pizza. Everybody else is posing. Huh. I thought there were more stuff in the drawer yesterday. Am I misremembering things? Oh, I guess I can't do anything with the card. And I gave away the lighter, so... Let's see. All the ingredients are stocked up, and the weather's keeping quiet. Looks like a good night to listen to some stories. Is the barista breaking the fourth wall and admitting that, like, the barista's coffee shop exists entirely for stories to be displayed in front of you? Which, it's an interesting setup for the narrative, because all of these narratives happen off-screen, more or less. You might get some high points as people finally start to talk about it, and I suppose that's where the conflict happens, is when people start talking about it and realize their differences. Oh, Hyde and Gala met up. Good evening, Mr. Hyde, Mr. Gala. Nice to see you two. How did it go at the hospital today? Well, it was fine, except I was a little exhausted. Goodness, are you having issues with the children again? No, that's not it. It's just... Well, for starters, my Fury's giving me a hard time. Your Fury, is it at the full moon already? Nope, but I sometimes get pre-Fury symptoms. Pre-Fury symptoms. I feel like also the barista is a little bit of Solid Snake from Metal Gear, where like Solid Snake frequently repeats like the main phrase of any discussion to basically act as a blank slate for the player, so that that he's always asking about keywords in every discussion, so that the person who's doing the discussion will then elaborate. So like, that's why you have things like Metal Gear and Muff. But it's like, in this case, like, you've got the barista, pre-Fury. Yeah, it's common a thing for werewolves. A few days before the full moon, our bodies start to prepare for Fury, and that changes the way they react to pretty much everything. Symptoms vary depending on who you ask, but it can affect our muscles, our appetite, our energy levels. It can give us headaches and a lot of other stuff. Small but annoying. That doesn't sound pleasant. No, to be honest, it's not great. I would have expected having headaches and those other grievances sound like a good time, but if he says so. Also, something to note about Mr. Hyde and Gala. If you look at Gala, his phone looks like it has a protective case. But if you look at Mr. Hyde, it looks like he doesn't use one. I would imagine Gala can't afford to replace his phone, whereas Mr. Hyde can break a dozen phones and not even worry about it, considering his financial situation. For me, I've been feeling pretty sore and more tired than usual, and a bit crankier as well. Is there a drink that could help you with that? I never found one, but if anyone can come up with it, it's you, barista. Since a Galahad can soothe your Fury, maybe it would work pre-Fury as well? Maybe, but I think it'd need to be more relaxing. Like a Galahad, but with no caffeine, and maybe blue. Alright, so that's gonna be Hibiscus. I mean, what else is in a Galahad? So that was a tea drink. So Hibiscus, milk, and ginger. No, not Hibiscus. Butterfly, tea, milk, and ginger. But we'll save our game nonetheless, just in case. A Gala tea. That sounds appropriate. Also, I like the image of the wolf in the beverage. That's how I know I got it right. Here you go, a Gala tea for you. Veteran now working in a hospital. Oh, look at Gala with this kitty. Look at that good kitty. Nope. No. A silky but spicy beverage that soothes furious emotions and brings dormant joys back to life. Here you go, a Gala tea for you. Do you come up with these names on the spot, barista? Oh no, it takes a bit of soul searching to tailor it to the situation and so on. Like, that's how I was able to just take your name and literally put it as a prefix to the word tea. Somehow, I was able to come up with that. Who knows where I came up with these creative juices on the spot? That almost makes it sound like you knew in advance what we were going to order. Call it a sixth sense. Right, let's see how your sixth sense tastes. Wow, this is excellent. Exactly what I needed. Very happy to hear that. And you, Mr. Silent Vampire. What's with the long looks, you two? Did something happen? Actually, barista, guess I'll just come out with it. I need your help. My help? Come on, I wasn't that bad. No, I was so tired today I nearly fell asleep on the job. But most importantly, it's not good for you. Moping around, sulking, refusing to look at solutions. I've never seen you like this, and I'm getting worried. There's nothing to worry about. You say that, but then you spend entire nights looking miserable. No advice I can come up with is good enough. And hide, I'm barely keeping it together as it is. You should know by now how I feel when Fury's about to hit. I take it you two ended up chatting yesterday after all. You bet we did. After I walked out of here, I headed home and found this one lying on the sofa, staring at the ceiling. Looking so gloomy it sucked the color out of the room. And it's not the first time either, it's constant these days. Please help me help him, barista. I'm at my wit's end. Mr. Hyde? Ah. Oh, fine. The truth is, I'm bored to death. Or I would be if it wasn't for the whole immortality thing. I'm nearing 40 years old. And I've never been this bored in my entire life. 40 years? Interesting, you usually make it sound like you're much older. 40 years old in vampire years. See, in vampire years, first you have to take the first 10 years, and then multiply that by 7. Then the next 5 years get multiplied by 3. Then the subsequent 15 years get multiplied by 8.73. I don't know how the math works. You're going to have to talk to vampire experts. I'm not saying how old that is in other species' years. Eyes on the prize, barista. Intervention first, gossip later. My apologies. Why are you so bored, Mr. Hyde? My job. My job. What was that? My job. Hey, no need to shout. Well, I'm also irritated about it, okay? I'm not exactly used to sitting around, twiddling my thumbs, but modeling stopped being fun ages ago. You did mention something like that last time. That's the thing with, if you live forever. Okay, so there is an idea, I believe it is mentioned in True Blood. And with True Blood, I think the idea is mentioned because it makes sense for the story and the kind of thing that True Blood wants to do, which is basically vampire romance that sometimes has mysteries. And one of the vampires, I think one of the vampires said that, like, human beings generally don't live long enough to want to sexually experiment. Like, when you consider the life cycle of a human being, by the time a person becomes sexually active, romantically active, married, dead. Like, the person's life doesn't necessarily allot themselves for testing out the waters, so to speak, is the cleanest way to say it. But imagine if you lived 100 years. Imagine if you lived 200 years. Would you be able to stay monogamous for 200 years? Would you be able to, like, till death do us part is a convenient is both itself a convenience and a truth, because, like, people only live so long. And also a falsehood because divorce exists. But, imagine saying "till death do us part." Like, how meaningless that would be if you were immortal. Like, that is not a vow you could keep. And till the end of time is a long-ass time. Like, imagine living with the same person for 200 years, 300 years. Now imagine a career. Think about your job. Think about what you do every day. Maybe not every day, maybe 5 days a week. Would you be able to do that for the rest of the year? 10 years? 100 years? 200 years? Would you be willing to do the same thing that you are doing right now, 5 days a week, for the next 300 years? Needless to say, it's very obvious that that sort of thing can get old. Like, I would imagine I would want to just switch jobs just for the sake of variety, given enough time. You are trying to leave modeling behind, then. Yeah. Is there a specific reason for that? It's all just so brief. Back when I started modeling, people thought of fashion in a different way. They wanted to keep their outfits for a while, so they had to be elegant, well-made, and versatile. Some campaigns that I featured in stayed on billboards for months, and I knew the clothes would last decades. In a way, it felt like I was building a bond with their wearers. I endorsed something that would feature in their cherished memories. But then social media came, it all became disposable. The clothes themselves, of course, but the models even more. I shoot a campaign, the brand posts it online, and it gets attention for, what, 10 minutes? Then another campaign comes in and everything's forgotten. Blink and it's gone. There's no bond to be built there. Isn't that changing these days, though, with slow fashion and the like? What is slow fashion? That's true, and people are getting into vintage clothes too. I salute that. But the reality of my job remains the same. What about your fans? You have so many people following you. You mentioned that last night, and my answer hasn't changed. They follow me because they think I'm pretty. They care more about his looks than his connection to them via fashion. That would be just the same as following somebody like one of those e-girls, just because e-girl has big boobs, and not because e-girl is also an excellent cosplayer, and e-girl also puts a lot of effort into their art. Being admired is nice, but it doesn't constitute a bond. So you're saying that you'd like to leave more of a mark? Maybe so. It would be nice if I did something that people remembered, that became a part of their lives in a real way. You do know you have people in your life in a real way, right? People who always remember you. That's not the same thing. Maybe you should study to become a doctor or something. That would make a real difference. No, thank you. The job still needs to be fun. Studying for 10 years just to exhaust myself in 14-hour shifts. Did you mistake me for a hard-working vampire? Do you see what I'm dealing with, Barista? It seems to be a thorny issue. Perhaps you'd like to mull it over with a drink in hand, Mr. Hyde. Yeah, that sounds good. Just make me something I like. Anything you've seen me enjoy recently or when we first met. Alright, he liked the hibiscus. What was in the hibiscus? If I've made it before, it was the Zobo. Hibiscus, ginger, ginger. I was not expecting a quiz, but I should have expected a quiz. Here you go, Mr. Hyde. You seem to like this well enough. Heh. Nice barista, and you lost your bet, Hyde. A bet? When Hyde was wallowing in self-pity yesterday, I told him many people cared about him. And I bet you could remember what he liked, even if he gave you no instructions. So now I get to say that I was right, and Hyde gets to buy me dinner. At a place of my choosing. Ha! You're going to pick that horrible steakhouse again, aren't you? You know it. Have you won other bets in the past, Mr. Gala? Well, let's see. You say it, Hyde. He's won every single one of bets we've ever made. Wow. Yeah, I'm this close to being able to buy a new TV with the money I'm saving on food. Just rub it in my face, why don't you? Ah, it's Lua. Oh, hi everyone. Hi, Lua. Hi, Lua. Busy night, I see. Hi, Miss Lua. Busy and lively, just the way we like it. That's good. And I'm really glad you're here, Hyde. I wanted to apologize for the other night. I was so excited to see you, especially since it had been a while. But we ended up fighting with Bailey's instead. Oh, hold on. We've got Tomato Chill updates. Hey guys, up! Oh my gosh, what are you saying? Is that what the young folk, what the children say these days? A vegan vampire. Favorite things. The fact I've been blood sober for 10 years now. He likes the number 10. What I'm doing with my life. Currently, a model. Past, a stock trader, entrepreneur, venture capitalist. Rachel describes herself as your favorite girl next door. You must be getting bored of our arguments. It's alright. They're kind of fun to watch. How are things with you two, by the way? Just let me order before I answer. If that's alright, barista. Of course. What would you like? I spent the whole day talking in meetings and presentations, so I have a bit of a sore throat. Is there anything you'd recommend for that? Definitely something with lemon and honey. Sounds great. I'd love a lemon and honey drink then, please. Alright, I think I've actually already made this accidentally. I want to say it's a tea-based. Oh, I have made every single tea-based beverage. Or is it a coffee-based? No. Green tea? No. Cocoa? Have I not made it? Tea, milk, ginger. No, tea, lemon, and honey. No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Is there something honey and lemon? I'm pretty sure I made a beverage that is specifically good for a sore throat. Let's see, mint and lemon, honey and milk. I guess I haven't. So, let's save our game. At least we have the secondary ingredients. Let's try green tea, lemon, honey. Cough syrup. Alright, that sounds... Oh yeah, that's why. I didn't make it. I saw it on a loading screen. That's why I remember the description, but I don't remember what beverage menu is under. Here you go, some honey to soothe, some lemon to boost recovery. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see if we can translate her self-summary. I'm just going to cut to when I've finished typing that in, because that is a lot. Okay, so I tried typing this into Google Translate. I don't think it actually translated everything correctly. Oh, hold on. I missed a letter. And it still hasn't quite translated. Like, it hasn't translated the word bergamasks. So...
Votre âme est un paysage choisi. Que vont charmants masques et bergamasques. Jouant du luth et dansant et quasi. Tristes sous leur déguisement fantasque.
So it translated it as, your soul is a chosen landscape. How charming masks and bergamasks go, playing the lute and dancing and quasi, sad under their whimsical disguises. I would imagine bergamask might actually mean masquerades. Like how charming masks at masquerades. But I suppose the general gist of it is your soul is presented in a specific fashion. How charming it is above that mask, but below that mask, you are not charming. You are, in fact, quite sad. And let's take a look at the description of the green tea. A cure for a sore throat. Thanks, Dr. Barista. I'm reminded of one of my favorite lines from... I think it's from Paper Mario 64, specifically. Where there's a part of Paper Mario 64 where you help out this whale, and you deal with, like, some sort of inhabitants or creatures that are in the beginning, are inside the whale. And you kick them out, and you get out of the whale, and the whale is like, wow, you're so good at helping people, helping out. Helping out. They should call you Dr. Mario. Ah, this is truly lovely. Just what I needed. That's great to hear. My company's trying to get a big contract. So I've been organizing meetings with everyone, making sure it's all going according to plan. Speaking of taking care of a sore throat, be sure to hydrate. That sounds pretty tough. Yeah, it's a lot of responsibilities and decision making, and part of me likes that, but part of me feels the pressure of it. So it's nice to be able to unwind with a warm cup. Anyway, to answer your earlier question, Gala, you've probably gathered that Bay and I have been fighting. Yeah, and Hyde told me a little bit about it, too. Right, well, we haven't discussed the wedding for the past couple of days, and honestly, it's done me a lot of good. The thing is, I know Bay means well. He suggests all these things that he thinks I'd like, and I should like them. He's paying attention, not just sending random ideas, and I should be grateful that he's trying to please me. But I get annoyed instead, and then I start feeling guilty that I'm annoyed, which makes me even more annoyed. It's not great, I know. What's the line, what's the movie from that has the line, I eat because I'm sad, and I'm sad because I eat. It's a vicious cycle. Bonus points if you know the reference. Double bonus points if it turns out I'm slightly incorrect about the quote, and you have provided the correct quote. Well, it'd be easier if we all always acted rationally, if we only got annoyed at the right people for the right reasons. But things aren't that simple, are they? That's true. Although I guess if you figured out what actually annoys you, it would help. That's the problem. I'm not sure. At first, I thought I was tired or worried. The decision-making at my job is taking a toll for sure. It's a bit hard for me to also deal with organizing things in my personal life. Also, the financial side of it is hard to navigate. I don't want Bay to spend too much money, but he's right that involving my family comes with strings attached. I'm not sure how to avoid that, though. But I'm realizing that might not even be the main issue. The more he sends me links to venues and caterers, the more it all feels wrong to me. I don't mean the wedding itself. I want to get married to Bay. But the way we're planning it, I don't know. I've been to my friends' weddings before. I've also been browsing the most popular wedding pictures online. There are always these big parties, very put together, very classy. They have their whole families over, their friends and colleagues. They rent these beautiful barns and hire live bands. They wear designer dresses and bespoke suits. I used to look at that and think, this is great, this is what I want. But now all just feels more and more off to me. Why don't you tell your fiancé that? What if he thinks I'm getting cold feet? Or that I'm questioning his ability to help with the budget? Tell him this while making out with him. He'll be like, wait, is she really into me? And then suddenly she's just kissing him again. And then he's like, wait, no, I think she might still be into me. That is actually a reference to a very specific author's post. So if you happen to know which author said that in order to know that a girl is actually into him, like, the girl has to be actively making out with him at the time, and even then, he might not be sure. Triple bonus points for that. I'm just handing out bonus points today. Maybe. You'll have to guess the answer. That's how you communicate it, isn't it? Right, but it's still a difficult topic. We've been through so much, you all know that. This is supposed to be our special day, a way to celebrate our partnership. Bay wants to honor that. He'll feel awful if he thinks I don't. Or if he thinks I don't trust him. I swear you and your elf are well matched. You always worry so much about what others think, instead of working out your own wants and needs. You do realize that's the important bit, right? Well, I mean, generally, yes, I get that. But how does it apply here? What do you think it means to honor your partnership? To celebrate it properly, for starters? Right. And who are you in that partnership with? I believe you've met him, the blonde guy with the puppy eyes. Right, I'm glad you remember that, because you were making it sound like you were in a relationship with your friends who got married, and the strangers who put wedding pictures online. This is your relationship you're celebrating. Why are you so concerned with other people's weddings? Your special day needs to make sense to the two of you. Have it in trainers at a fast food joint if that's what you like. That way you can also take the budget out of the equation. A simpler wedding won't feel shabby if you make it feel properly yours. I still want a pretty outfit. And decent food. Thank goodness. But point well taken. It's just, my family might have certain expectations. Okay. It's your wedding. I am not the person who should probably be giving anybody relationship advice. But I would say... But here I am giving relationship advice. Isn't that how it always is? Anytime somebody says, I really shouldn't be saying something about this subject, but it's your wedding. The amount of money you spend, you're like, on one hand, you would like your guests to be comfortable. You don't want your guests to have a bad time. But ultimately, you are the focus of the celebration. If, like having a live band. A live band might be entertaining for your guests, but if that's an expense you're not interested in, don't spend it. Hell, just put an iPhone on shuffle. If that's all, grab a YouTube playlist. Did they openly say that? No. Then maybe they do, or maybe you just think they do. The only way to find out is to talk to them. Besides, isn't Bailey's also about to become your family? You sure are the only family he's got. I'm not saying to disinvite everyone or to fight with them or anything, but you shouldn't put their needs above your own. I really shouldn't, should I? You've given me food for thought. Thanks, Hyde. This is the only food you'll get in this joint, because we don't serve food at Coffee Talk. Only food for thought. My pleasure. Now solve my problems. Amazing how you perk up when you give people advice, Hyde. Maybe you should become a therapist. Huh. Or maybe just be like, Ask Mr. Hyde column. Gee, thanks for the vote of confidence. I did say I might become a couples counselor, but I agree with what you all implied. I don't think I'm quite tactful enough for that. That's why I'm saying he needs to open up his, like, Dear Mr. Hyde. Are you looking to change careers, Hyde? He's bored of modeling, finds it too impertinent, wants to leave a mark, wants to have fun. Just a very quick summary. Oh, I see. Well, is there any way you could make modeling fun again? I don't think so. Last time I had proper fun was maybe 20 years ago. What happened then? I was modeling a capsule collection for a young designer, and she wanted to take her own pictures. She got a studio, lugged the outfits there, found someone to do the makeup. Then she whipped out an old film camera, a proper relic. I hadn't seen one like it since the 60s. My granddad had an old black and silver camera with 2 lenses. Was it something like that? Yep, exactly like that. She said she preferred it because of the way it captured the light, and also because it was a slower experience, something that would allow us to connect more. At first I didn't think much of it. I started doing the usual posing, switching, posing some more. But something felt different. Then I realized what it was. Most of the time we were just talking. She only took a picture once in a few minutes at that, if at that. Is that unusual? Yep, most fashion photographers take a dozens of pictures in a row. I felt a bit sorry for her, to be honest. I thought she didn't know what she was doing and that she was wasting her money. But we had a great time and we got kind of friendly, I guess, because at the end of it she let me use up the remaining exposures. I fooled around, shot some random stuff, and one portrait of her. Then she suggested I come with her to her darkroom. Watch how she developed the pictures and how they came out. You did always have a fondness for dark places. Comes with the Comes with the territory. But as for the pictures, well, they were gorgeous. First of all, I looked really like me, you know, a me I could recognize. But that's not even stuck with me the most. It's the care that she put into processing each frame, working each picture through the chemical baths, painting them, drawing them. It was like watching a magic ritual. And that's something you could say about, like, photos these days. On one hand, it's incredibly easy to take lots of photographs, which is fine if, like, if you want to take that one specific picture that turns out to be perfect. Because not all of us are great photographers. I try my best, but I don't think I'm a great photographer. I think some of my photos turn out well, but I feel like I have to take maybe 100 photos to take 10 good photos. And sometimes it's the right time, the right place, the right angle. But other times, like, sometimes you just have to snap a whole bunch of photos and see what sticks. But that essentially means a lot of those photos become disposable when you have somebody who's taking the time to set up every photo, and every photo is not disposable. And her portrait, when she saw it, she got a bit emotional. She said she was used to being on the other side of the camera, and it was the first time she really liked a portrait someone took of her. I'm in a weird place these days. It's not like me to tell these kinds of tales, or to launch into soppy monologues, really. Just forget it. No, I think it's a beautiful story, and it gives me an idea. I think of another career for you. What, photographer? Please share, Lua. You'd be doing both of us a solid. Go on, then. Well, maybe because I've looked at so many of them recently, but apparently film is making a big comeback for wedding pictures. It's what you said, it captures the light beautifully. And it's more personal, slower approach. Maybe you could try that. Who, me? No, the other vampire who's looking for a new line of work. I think you've got the wrong guy here, Lua. I know I'm disgustingly sentimental these days, but I'm not that far gone. Attending one wedding gives me cavities, let alone several per month. Well, forget about it then. No, don't forget about it at all. It would be perfect for you. Come on, Hyde. I know you like to play strong and sarcastic, but you are sentimental, and you love to chat people up. You'd solve all the bridesmaids' drama and offend the parents, and most importantly, you do something for these people that they'll never forget. They'll look at your pics their whole lives. If that's not leaving a mark, I don't know what is. You're assuming they won't get divorced. I don't know if this is the right topic for Miss Lua. It's alright, I know some marriages end in divorce, but that doesn't change anything, does it? Whether a marriage lasts for a few months or several decades, the wedding is still an unforgettable moment in someone's life. That career in the mafia is really looking up. You're hopeless. I'm falling asleep on my chair now, so I'm gonna head back. Do whatever you want, you thick-skulled vampire. Just don't stay out too late, okay? Yeah, alright. That's my cue as well. I have some thinking to do, and maybe some talking. Thanks again, Hyde, and good luck. I hope your next adventure is a good one. It will be. Good night, Lua. Good night, Barista. See you later. Good night, you two. Here we are again, last one sitting. Indeed, proper night owls. You didn't say anything about that wedding photographer idea. It's ridiculous, right? Well, that's not for me to say, but I wouldn't call it ridiculous. It sounds like you enjoyed the whole film photography experience. And you do like being around people, don't you? I do, sometimes, but I'm not a romantic. People get married. They think they're taking a first step into forever. Well, there's no such thing as forever. Everyone ends up disappointed in some way, and then next thing you know, I don't want to sound too depressing. So you don't believe in love? Of course I do, but only in a certain kind. You can choose to keep supporting someone to enjoy their company, but you can do that for years with friends, family, lovers. But at the end of the day, you're still you, a separate person. And they're still them. There's no two souls becoming one, not really. I'd know, the one time I tried, it really didn't work out. But do you regret trying? No, I guess I don't. It confirmed for me that marriage and the like, it's never going to be my thing. And there's freedom in knowing that about myself. It's given me space to build other relationships that work much better. But at the same time, when I see people who truly believe it, people who walk into it willing to share their lives so closely, even if for most of them it won't pan out, there's something beautiful there, like watching a butterfly too close to a flame, or a flower bloom like it will never wilt. Well, in my case, I singed off my wings, but I'm still here. And on that day, for that minute when I said we'd be together forever and meant it, I sure felt alive. If you know all that, then you must also know that it's something worth celebrating, and something worth helping other people celebrate. You're a tricksy one, barista, and I'm too tired to fight your logic, which means it's time for me to head back. Of course, Mr. Hyde. And I meant to say, I appreciate your one-to-one chats. I hope we can keep providing you with a comfortable space here. Oh, it's plenty comfortable for sure. Besides, well, it all boils down to this, doesn't it? The way time passes for me is very different from anyone else I know. Guess where I am? 'Cause sure as hell I don't know. That's a vague tweet I would accept. Thank goodness Gala is from a long-living species, but even then he'll grow old before I do eventually. The world will change 100 times, technologies will die out, new technologies will come, I will feel again the way I feel now in a century, maybe two. And Lua and Gala won't be around to give me advice, the world won't wait for me. But you will, am I right, barista? Oh? Are we getting a little bit of background to Barista's character? That is very perceptive of you, Mr. Hyde. Hey, you've grown to know me quite well. It's only fair that I know you a little in return. I suppose that's true. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that, to continuing our story. It's nice to know that no matter how much time passes, there's always going to be someone here rooting for me. Thank you for your trust, Mr. Hyde. We will make sure it's not misplaced. I know you will. And on that note, I guess I'm going to browse for some film cameras. Does Lucas need a delivery? Are you lost? What's the worst that can happen? Indeed. Take care of yourself, friend, and you as well. So yeah, a little bit of more background, like a little hint of a background on the barista. The world won't wait for you, Mr. Hyde, but some of us will. Like, that is the question, like, your character, who you are, is still a mystery. It was hinted at the end of Coffee Talk 1. I think it goes to show I actually really, really like this song. I wish I knew what this song was. I could probably just look up the soundtrack to Coffee Talk, but and it's probably listed somewhere. Thursday, September 28th, 2023. New image recognition tech confuses gnomes with dwarves. A review. Robots asked to give ultimate advice. Elven burnout is real. Here's how to avoid it. Wait, Elven burnout. Is that elves who get burned out on immortal working for an eternity? People who get burned out on elves? Alright, well, we'll have to see who comes in next time. For now, though, got any suggestions for someone to play next, leave them down in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and have yourselves a good night.